Welcome into Patriot Profiles. This is a new video segment in which we look back on the career of some of our Patriot greats, and what better place to start right here than Chandler Jacobs. He's the all-time leading scorer in DBU basketball history.
That's crazy.
He was an All-American in 2021. I gotta make sure I get all this right.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Three-time first-team All-Conference, I
Yeah.
believe. You were an academic All-American. You were the Lone Star Conference
Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
You had a storied career. Phenomenal basketball player, and I got to say, fan favorite as well. Beloved by Patriot faithful. But you're now getting ready to go play basketball overseas in Spain, one of the top leagues internationally.
Yes, sir.
Over in Spain. But you got a chance to come back to Dallas. You were at Colorado State this past year to play your final season.
Yeah.
You come back to Dallas, though. What's this been like in terms of just getting a chance to reunite with coaches and teammates?
Man, it's been amazing. So I was supposed to come in May, and my car broke down, had a lot of trouble with that. So I eventually ended up coming just the last week before school started, and was the first week of school for classes, and it was perfect timing. You know, I was able to meet the new guys, reconnect with my old teammates, and just reflect and hang out with my coaches and everything. I've worked out with them, like did sprints with them, conditioning with them, weights with them, basketball with them, everything. So it was the perfect, absolutely perfect timing, and God was definitely orchestrating that. You know, when my car broke down, I was distraught, and a lot was going on at the time, but it all worked out the way it should have. So it's been great.
You know, it's flown by. It seems like just yesterday you were playing your first game as a freshman in 2017 in Colorado, I believe is where,
yeah, it was in
where we went
Colorado.
to. But think back to then. The whole, we'll get into the recruiting process here in a minute. What were your goals? When you stepped foot on campus as a freshman that season, what were your goals and what were your expectations that first year?
Got you. Honestly, I had no expectations. You know, coming in, I was kind of like, I was deep on the depth chart. We had a lot of good guards and wings that year. So for me, I was just like, how can I get on the court type of deal. So some things kind of bounced my way. Some unfortunate things happened to some of the guys on that team. So I was able to start kind of early in the season due to some injuries and things. And I just kind of took it and ran with it, you know, and I feel like as the season progressed, then my goals formulated, you know. So like as I started playing well, I was like, okay, I can be a freshman of the year. I can make all conference. I can do this. I can do that. But it kind of went that way. So, man, honestly, I feel like I was just a chicken running with its head cut off that freshman year. I was just doing everything naturally.
You know, you come back your sophomore year and you look like a new guy.
Yeah.
Was there a moment or a time, whether it be a game or a practice, or just was there a moment where you felt like things just began to truly click for you, and you realized that you could not only play this game but play it at a very high level?
Yeah, I think my freshman year we played against Newman at Newman for the conference championship game, the regular season conference championship game, and it was kind of a close game where I think we were maybe up by 5, or it was a close game, maybe even tied, like 8 minutes left to go, and I think I scored, I want to say 15 straight. And then I'm like a freshman, and the coach is like giving me the ball. I remember one play, we gave the ball to Boy, and coach told me to go get it. And I get the ball and I hit a step back 3 to like ice the game. And it was like that moment was where I was like, you know what, I'm good enough. I can do this, you know. And that was the first time I felt like I had like a conscience, like confidence in my abilities, you know. So that was definitely a turning point for me. And then just my entire junior year, that was the first time where I felt like my confidence was like really tangible, and I could feel it, and I could feel like me dominating the games, you know. So those 2 big moments stand out for me.
You know, you talk about some of these individual moments when things started to click for you in the run that you had there in that Newman game. I think about a crazy series. When we talk about COVID, Midwestern State comes here to DBU. You get a 2-game series essentially against them. I think you hit close to a buzzer beater late in that first game. I'm gonna ask you about that one first. What do you recall about that?
Man, that was cool because I was like, I've lived for Kobe Bryant's my favorite player, so I lived for those moments, man. I've wanted moments like that to happen so many times. I dreamt them, you know, growing up. So with that moment, as soon as I think I was trying to be kind of humble about it, and I was passing the ball or whatever, and then I think with like 8 seconds left, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go get it. So I got it and hit the double clutch 3, which was crazy. I watch it back and I feel like I look like Michael Jordan. I was like, I double clutched it, everything, and I was like, man, that was an awesome moment for me, man. That was cool. How
much did that set up the next day? Because in terms of you maybe being a decoy, possibly. What's probably maybe the craziest play in DBU basketball history. This was a Sports Center play.
But I said tipping with Jalen.
The alley-oop. You're down a point with, I don't know.
89-90. I think it was like a 0.7 seconds or something like that. So all we could get was a tip-in.
And so you flash high, I believe, on this play. Inbounds pass, the alley-oop to Jalen is unreal. What do you remember about just maybe the huddle conversation or your thoughts on that play?
Honestly, when he drew up, I didn't think it was going to work because I was like, there's no way these guys are going to run to me with 0.7 seconds left. Like, I'm not even running towards the basket. I ran away from the basket. Yeah. So I'm like, there's no way these guys are going to follow me and leave the goal wide open when there's like less than a second left. Like, I don't even have time to get a shot off. And lo and behold, they did, you know. And so that was the craziest thing to me. And then just like the camaraderie after that moment, like the way our guys rushed the court and Abe is giving me this big old hug and everybody's just like in shock. So that was like the coolest moment to me, man. So I was happier with that one than mine. My game winner the day before because it was Jalen, and he's always been my guy in my years here. He moved in with me early when he first got here and kind of took him under my wing a little bit. So to see him get that moment and that confidence boost was so awesome to see, man. So that was a cool day.
Awesome moments during the regular season, and then also postseason. 4 trips to the NCAA tournament during your career. That's never been accomplished before. I believe you're the first guy to do that.
Wow.
Julian Miranda, I think, would also be probably one on that list as well. You and Jules. But you were a part of some very special moments. Teams that made great runs. NCAA tournament. Anything that stands out to you about some of those runs and the games? Maybe a game in the NCAA tournament that you played in.
The Commerce game my sophomore year stood out to me. Obviously, we lose that game, and I played absolutely awful, but it stood out because I feel like that was a real turning point for me mentally. That was my sophomore year, and I remember I was talking to Glennie that summer after my freshman year, and I was telling him I'm so afraid of a sophomore slump. I'm so afraid. So I worked super hard that summer, and lo and behold, I have the sophomore slump because I was so trying to avoid it, you know. And so from the season to end, and I felt like it was kind of on me because I think I maybe scored 4 points that game. I didn't play well at all. That was one time where I was like, you know what, like, you are really good at basketball and you're not applying yourself the way that you can. So that was a turning point for me to like turn it on even more, you know, to push myself that summer and challenge myself and believe more in my abilities. So that was the beginning of this whole kind of journey, I feel like, of me just kind of becoming the person I want to be as a player.
You think about the journey too, and I know that Coach Flickner, head basketball coach here, Ryan Glennie, who recruited you, a huge part of that journey. What kind of impact have they had on your life?
Amazing, man. First and foremost, they taught me how to believe in myself and how to, I've always been a perfectionist, but they taught me how to believe in myself and still work hard, but handle adversity. Coming into, my freshman year, I was like, if I don't do it perfectly, if I don't do it right, I'm doing it again. And if I keep doing it wrong, I just would just get so frustrated with myself. But they taught me to calm down, and they taught me how to lead with love. And that's something I'm still learning now. But, I feel like that's the way I see life. I see life through that lens of love and how Christ loves us and how I want to love people, And they've showed me that it's possible to lead without the abrasiveness, because Kobe's my guy. Right. So growing up, I'm like, no, I got to lead this way. Like, I got to be abrasive. I got to be tough. But it's possible to love with gentleness, and they showed me that. So that's how I hope to one day lead a family and lead my team in Spain. And wherever I am, that's how I want to be, So they taught me that.
That journey continued for you last year. 4 years here,
yes,
and you accomplished so much. All-time leading scorer, 4 trips to the NCAA tournament. But you get a chance to go play at the Division I level. Go play for Colorado State. What a year! 25-6. You go to the NCAA tournament. How do you describe that ride?
That was it was amazing because I felt like obviously previously I committed to Texas Tech, and I remember I woke up at 3 a.m, like the day after I committed, in a cold sweat. I wasn't sick, but I felt sick to my stomach, and I felt God telling me like, this is not where I want you to be. So I decommit from Texas Tech probably about a week later and commit to Colorado State. And I chose there because of Ali Frokmanesh, the assistant coach. He was the guy that recruited me, and I loved him from the recruiting process. He was just my guy immediately, and he'll be a friend for the rest of my life, I hope. So he got me there, and like once I got there, everyone else was like him, just good people. And that's what I was most proud of about my decision to go there, because we had the success we had was great, but we did it the right way. We did it with good people, with good hearts, and man, there's some good lifelong friends there, so I'm tremendously grateful for that opportunity.
We talk about all the records that Chandler had. I don't know that anybody's been in one shining moment twice. For those of you who are college basketball fans, you've watched at the end of the NCAA tournament after the championship, they recap it, dramatic musical,
literally dramatic musical.
all the video highlights. Chandler makes it twice. That's unreal.
I couldn't believe that. I didn't even know that was even a thing. My dad told me to check it out, and I was like, I don't know what that is. So then I look it up on YouTube, and I see me in there twice, and I was like, that is absolutely absurd, But I feel like it all ended the way it did, with me making one shining moment, me being in the dunk contest. That was a crazy story in and of itself. Making the NCAA tournament, having that moment, it was a perfect 5 years for me. So I am so unbelievably grateful.
Amazing 5 years, and now you go on what's going to be the next amazing journey and chapter in your life, off to Albacete, Spain, to play in that league there overseas. You leave tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today.
No, I appreciate you guys.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. But what does the future hold? What do you see down the road here? Expectations for you as you leave tomorrow?
Honestly, you know, I'm going into this new phase of my life with no expectations, just to learn, just to make mistakes, to learn, to do well, to do poorly, and to just kind of experience life and handle it as it comes. You know, I think that right now I'm in a very just curious and explorative stage in my life, in the sense that I know who I am, I know the things that are true to me, but I want to learn more about the world and about people. So I think that's a big thing for me, because I love basketball, and obviously I'm getting to play the game that I love, and that's a blessing in and of itself. But to be able to do that in a new place and expose to new people, and to just learn and grow my humility and my empathy and just be the best human being I can be, that's what I'm most excited for. So hopefully I can play for 10 to 15 years and see what kind of player and person I become at the end of it.
Well, we'll be pulling for you. Your biggest fans are right here
Appreciate
at
you
DBU.
guys.
It's been an honor to have you here today. Join us, our first guest on Patriot Profiles. Chandler, thanks again. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys.